thumbnail?
That's the thumbnail. This is. Hey, we're doing a live podcast recording just for you guys. But now we're live.
Okay, we're live now.
We're doing a podcast recording. We have our friend Doon in the studio today.
Hello.
And
Rye is a co-host. We're missing one of his hosts.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Dad. So
I'm sorry, Dad.
we'll do like a whole intro for this is kind of you're the backdrop, but
Well, we only have one guy right now, but this is later on. Hey, patrons, this is only for you.
yeah. So basically,
Are we recording the podcast right now?
Not yet.
we're not recording yet.
Gotcha.
Do a quick sound check, and then
Alright.
if there's anything at the end that you want us to cut out, just let us know.
Sure.
And if you can consent to being on our podcast, that'd be wonderful.
Do you
Yes.
consent?
In
I consent.
allowing
That's
us to release this on any platforms or whatever that we.
You got it.
All right, thank you, Doon.
Sure.
Is Rye short for like Ryan?
Ryan. And Doon is short for Muldoon.
Oh, a little Irish lad here.
Indeed.
All right, this is testing 1, 2, 3. Ryan, you want to go?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Hello.
And all right. So long as you're like pretty close
close.
up, yeah.
Can I hold this?
You can also hold it if that's easier. Yeah, it does make it a little more. Yeah, a little
Yeah,
easier.
okay.
Sure. Sure. This is okay.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Bad at all.
All right, let's start it out. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Woohoo! Rye of I'm Sorry, Dad, the podcast.
How did you come up with that name?
It used to be a joke to myself. When I got my first credit card, my password was "I'm sorry, Dad," followed by several numbers. It was just a joke to myself, like, "Sorry, Dad, I'm going to be calling you to help me out with my debt one day."
Does the premonition come true?
I used to call him for help, but I'm 34 now, and I feel like I just can't do that anymore.
No way! I thought you were like 24. You look young.
Oh,
I was surprised as well.
I do. I guess I do look kind of
You have a young face. That's good.
baby face. Always have. And it backfired in high school. I looked like a little boy in high school.
You know,
Yeah.
pay off in
But then
spades
they like-
later on.
Do
No.
people always say like, "Oh, don't worry, when you're older, it's gonna really
Yes.
pay off"?
And trust me, it does. Trust me. I wish I had that issue.
Have you found that's the case?
Yes. Just in that people think I'm younger than I am. But
Yeah.
it's never like a direct like, "Oh my god, you look so fucking young. I'm gonna fuck you."
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
As you age, that happens.
Yeah, I've actually found that for me, looking older, like I have a beard, it looks better. It works. I attract more women, is what I'm saying.
You thirst trap them.
Thirst trap, yeah.
I learned a new term and I'm just abusing it.
You
I
are-
just grew this beard about a month ago. First time ever having a beard.
wow. What have been the result?
The result is I now have a jawline, which is something new in my life.
Look at that.
It hides my random neck fat. I got a weak Irish chin.
Oh my God.
But I have noticed girls like me more. I'm more attractive.
Look
You
at
know
that.
why? It's the whole Mumford & Sons phenomenon.
Yeah, the whole hipster movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you have a girlfriend right now.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
But I cheat on her. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a proud moment.
How long have you had this girlfriend?
4 months.
Oh wow,
So it's pretty new.
pretty new.
Mhm.
Is it rare for you to have a girlfriend 4 months long, or is
I had a girlfriend for 10 years once.
whoa?
When I was a young warthog, I mean, I had a girlfriend for 10 years.
Yeah.
It was a serious relationship.
Yeah, it's pretty much marriage, but we didn't believe in marriage.
Wow.
It sounds like me, actually.
And I'm glad we didn't get married because we'd be divorced now.
Damn.
I was 21 to 31.
You
Oh,
know,
shit.
here's the deal. Under 25, your brain is not fully
Right.
developed. So,
Yeah.
and I was married at 23, so I'm not kind of a hypocrite for saying this, but I really do believe that you're too young to make that kind of decision before 25.
So do I.
Dude, are you against marriage just for everyone, or for you, or are you against marriage?
I'm not against marriage.
Oh, okay.
At the time, like when I was 21 to 27, I guess I wasn't really against it. I just didn't find it necessary.
Mm.
And my ex-girlfriend's, her parents' marriage was terrible. Her dad was a raging alcoholic.
Mm.
But still in their lives, they just ignored him. It was weird. He lived in the house, but didn't speak.
Oh.
So she saw a terrible marriage. So she was
Yeah.
like, I don't think I ever want to get married. And I was like, cool with me. It's just a contract.
But the truth of the matter is there is some element of truth to that whole is a contract thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I
you
agree.
do want to get a prenup. I don't care how solid you are in your relationship. You get married, you better get a prenup.
Yikes.
Wow.
Unless, of course, you have zero money. But even then,
Right.
you might get a lot of money and not want to share that.
So you were
If you
grateful.
get divorced.
You were grateful for not taking this to the next level of marriage.
Yeah, totally. I would have gone through a divorce, and we didn't have kids, thank God, or else I'd have kids,
Yeah.
which I would now be disowning, and that'd be the whole thing.
And you don't disown your kids.
So did you? Was there ever a point where you're like, oh man, I wish I had this marriage, or was it
Like I wish I was still with her.
No, I wish I was married.
No.
The whole time you're like, okay, maybe.
Year 7 is when we probably should have broken up.
That 7-year itch.
Yeah, right.
Is
And I
that
was
a thing?
It's a thing.
I've heard of it.
I've never heard of this.
You know, I interview a lot of people and I ask that same question. Like, on your wedding, these are divorced people that have now new relationships in. On your wedding day, did you know that you were making a mistake? And I'm telling you, 10 out of 10 people say yes.
Really?
They still go ahead and get married. It's crazy
That
that
is wild.
I've never met someone who said, "Oh no, on my wedding day, I really, I was totally into it." They've
But-
all said they knew they were making a mistake.
I also wonder though if that means that if you ask people who are married today that have remained married, if they had some concern on their wedding day, if this was the right choice.
I didn't ask for concern. I said, "Did you know it was a mistake?" And they all said yes.
Oh my God.
But it would be a nice controlled study if I asked people that are currently married if they knew it was a
Yeah,
mistake.
they might say that's a mistake as well.
But yeah, so happy I didn't get married. Have you been married?
I've been married and my husband passed away,
Oh, I'm
which
sorry.
I don't know if you knew, but we can go.
I actually heard that on
Yeah.
the Kate Quigley episode.
Yeah. So, no, I like I said before, I was lucky when I got married because I was so young when I was engaged at like 21. Literally, that to me is so ludicrous now.
Yeah.
But it worked out. It's just, I really believe that's a stroke of luck or just
Right.
some sort of, what do you call that one? It's divine intervention or something like that.
But I totally agree about under 25. Your brain isn't developed.
It's true.
You're kind of an idiot.
Did you date a lot prior to that relationship?
No, that was my first official girlfriend, actually.
Wow. Were you
So-
freaking out like, oh my God, this might be it?
We took things super slowly. Like, we weren't even boyfriend and girlfriend until 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't hooking up with anyone else. We were pretty much exclusive, but didn't.
Were you a virgin?
Nope. That wasn't a virgin, neither was she.
Had you slept with multiple people?
Yeah, like 7.
It's a fair sampling.
Was that enough for you to be like, okay, if I were to actually spend the rest of my life with her, this would be fine?
What happened was we started dating. Years went by, and she still is very awesome. She was always just such a great person that I couldn't rationalize leaving her. And we were so good together. We had a really great relationship for 7 years.
And then the 7-year itch came, and what happened?
And I did think, like, fuck, I kind of would be kind of nice to sleep with a bunch of girls. But I would always end with, nah, I'm not going to because she's awesome. And then my life changed a lot when I started getting success in comedy. And I was going to be a nurse. I was taking prereqs for nursing school. Classes I avoided in college the first time around. And then I told her, I was like, I'm not going to be a nurse anymore. She was like, I knew it. So I started having success in something completely that wasn't planned.
Comedy.
Yeah, comedy.
But wait a second. So your parents were like, yeah, good idea. Drop your nursing diploma, and then you've been working for all these years, and go out and make Vine skits and call that your living, and they were cool with that.
They were, because I started stand-up 3 months before Vine came out, and I was like, I want to be a stand-up comedian. And everyone's like, oh, good luck. Because it's like almost impossible to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in high school, you were in like all the theatrical things and comedy things and that kind of stuff.
I was trying to be a musician since like 3rd grade. I grew up playing the saxophone when I was in rock bands with friends. I was in a good band in high school. We were like gigging in Boston and New York. We had some success. So I was like, I'm going to be a musician. It's going to work out. And then over the years, several bands didn't work out. So my parents always knew that I wanted to be a performer. But
So
I
it
was
was
never
not that
making
big of
money.
a shot.
It would- no. And then I started making money. So like I could rationalize it. Like, look, I'm making like good money. So my parents were like, all right, good.
How is that money coming in? Through ad endorsements and stuff like that?
Yeah, I would do brand deals. I still do, just not nearly as many.
Hey, brands out there,
yeah, right.
call Ryan Doon immediately.
So yeah, like brands, like I've worked with like Pepsi or something. Pepsi would be like, "Hey, we have a campaign. We want you to make this many videos, this many Instagram stories for this amount of money."
They came to you.
Yeah, sometimes it come directly to me. Other times I go to agencies that work with influencers.
That's great, though. I mean, I think that has changed so much since the adpocalypse and all that other stuff that went on.
Right.
Brands are like scared of anything that is not like,
It slowed down a
Like
lot
bread.
for like everybody, even brand deals.
Oh, so you don't think it's just oversaturation? You think that it's
I don't think it has anything to do with oversaturation.
wow? It's just that people are getting more conservative with
Oh,
what they
yeah.
want out there.
It's disgusting.
Is this what you've seen too?
Yep, and I think a lot of influencers are quoting themselves super low. So I'll quote.
They're devaluing the whole
Yeah.
industry. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, I'm not going to pay this person $10,000. I'm not going to pay this teenager $3,000 because they don't know what they're talking about.
Probably
That's
not-
wild.
Probably less than that. We're doing cheap ads. We're really too cheap.
Same, my podcast too.
Yeah.
I started doing ads. I was like, yeah, milestone. But I'm like, oh, I'm not even feeling this money coming in.
Yeah. Wait, so what happened? So you started making these Vine videos. They took off.
Yep.
Were you surprised when this was going on?
Yeah. I thought for sure Vine would be taken over by actual celebrities once they found out about it. Because I found out about Vine early on. And I was like,
Your videos are hilarious, by the way.
And how old were you during this time?
28.
It is-
Before now.
Yeah, they're great.
So
they're
what-
very clowny.
What was your first video?
Yeah.
What was your first video? And how did you come up with this idea?
First video. I stole from Spaceballs. Not really stole. Just I didn't. No one saw it. But yeah, there's the opening to Spaceballs, the movie. There's a Star Wars script or
Yeah,
like text,
exactly. Yeah.
and it fades away. It gets farther away. Then it shows if you can read this, you don't need glasses. Because it was like very small print. I always thought that was funny as a kid. So I whispered it into the camera on Vine. I was like, if you can hear this, you don't need to hear it.
Oh, that's good.
Granted, you can just turn the volume up.
Yeah.
But then I just started doing characters and voices. I just wanted to see if I was funny. If I thought I was funny.
Oh my God, we've just been talking about that so much because I think I'm the funniest person. I don't know that anybody else does, but I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's like
She
true
laughs the
comedy.
most of any of her audience.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's good.
when I'm done with a podcast or whatever, and we're looking for like a little teaser, I'm the one laughing. I mean, Cam, you're chuckling inside more, but
Inside, also not chuckling. Most of the time, I'm just like, oh my God, this is happening.
but the truth of the matter is, I really believe as a comedian, you have to make yourself as funny.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You do stand up too, right?
Yeah, I did stand up, and now I do more clown stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Like
this is
what?
well, right now on America's Got Talent,
Oh, that's right.
doing this weird spitting act.
Ah, sweet.
But we still deal with this. Even last night, I was talking with my group. Like one of them said something like, "Oh, I think that the TV audience really like this. It's family friendly. It's good." And I'm like, "That is not the goal. The goal is to make something that we enjoy, that we find funny. Otherwise, there's no reason why we should be here just catering to an audience that we
100% agree.
think they might like."
100%.
Yeah, because it's usually not where creativity comes from.
Oh yeah, totally. And now you're currently filming,
He can't say.
I can't tell any details.
But yes, no, I was kidding.
so you won.
Yeah, I run the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, he's going to Disney World.
Yeah.
Is that the grand prize? Just
No, I just
one free ticket to Disney World.
Wait, so the video started taking off.
Yeah.
You started getting these brand deals, and then suddenly you're like, wait a minute.
what am I doing with this girl? I should have all these young newborn women flocking after me.
Were you getting like DM'd? And I mean, at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you DM through Vine, or how did that work?
Snapchat, Instagram.
Oh wow, but Snapchat wasn't even around at that point.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't even see you with your beard. Can
No,
you imagine
Could
how
you
many
imagine
slide-ins
with this
and DMs?
chin now?
Oh my
I
God.
have a chin now. But she actually broke up with me.
Oh,
What?
interesting.
The
Yeah.
bitch.
What
What
was
happened?
happening?
What happened was my life changed rapidly, like I mentioned earlier, and hers didn't. We moved out to LA together.
Where were you living?
We were living in Boston, Massachusetts. And we moved out to LA pretty much for me. And she also wanted to change. She wanted to live in LA as well, just
Mhm.
for her own reasons. And then I was just doing a ton of stand-up, social media. She didn't like it. She didn't like the lifestyle. She was starting to want kids and stuff. She is 32. And I told her, like, I can't have kids anytime soon. I need to, like, establish myself in this career. So then we slowly drifted apart, and the sex stopped pretty much. That was a big issue.
Well, and he looks at me when he goes, that was a big issue.
You're the sex expert.
Yeah, she's not gonna look at me with it. Who gives a shit? Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I'm not having sex anyway. So. Anyway, so what did this lifestyle look like
My lifestyle?
at the time when she was like, hey,
Well, what was she doing as a career?
She was she worked for a nonprofit organization. She'd go into LA public schools and just like develop relationships and over time improve them.
So she's a good person.
Yeah, very good person. Yeah.
So in your lifestyle, when you say change, does that mean you're going to parties? Like, were you shooting all the time?
Shooting all the time, doing stand up pretty much every night.
Girls like flocking at your feet, pulling their clothes off.
Kind of a lot of like nudes on Snapchat and stuff. And I knew that I could get like girls I would never be able to get before. So that was enticing to me. I never cheated on her.
Wait, like, did you like that statement? It was like the quality statement, remember?
What?
Yeah, who was saying that?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Anyway.
Oh,
The
yeah.
quality of girls.
Someone came up and, yeah. I don't remember this.
Much better quality of girls. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just kind of said the same thing.
Oh, I remember Derek. The Down with David web series. Anyway,
the stripper.
The male stripper. Anyway, he was talking about the quality of women.
And you just kind of alluded to girls I can never get before. I mean,
Yeah.
what does it mean?
It means that like all of a sudden I do stand up and people will come out to the shows, be like 5 super hot girls, be like, let's hang out. I'm like, what?
I hear ya.
Yeah.
And so did that entice you, or were you kind of just like, I know what I have and it's better than any of you guys, so
It was enticing, but I would again always conclude like my girlfriend's awesome and I'm not gonna do anything. There are some challenging moments, like girls come to me and just like, you sure, like, even though you have a girlfriend, like, you sure you can't hook up? I was like,
Wow.
God damn it, don't say that.
It's like the angel and the devil on your shoulders, like, yes, do it. No, you can't do it.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you weren't having sex with your girlfriend.
Right.
That kind of sucks.
yeah.
It was tough. So she broke up with me, and then after a few months of mourning that loss, I became a slut. I was a whore.
You took advantage of the situation.
Man, horse strikes.
So what did that look like?
It was like 2 years, and it was like my priority was having sex, pretty much, which isn't the best.
You were like a freaking kid in a candy store. It's second
Yeah.
adolescence.
How old were you?
31.
Oh wow.
So it looked like I would do stand up. People would come to the show, and I was always very friendly. Talk to girls after a show, go to a bar. And,
Did you use protection?
yeah. I did, yep, and got tested.
Were you ever concerned, like, these are strangers? Who
Yeah.
knows what's going to happen?
Yes. Yeah.
So the way the concern with the sluttiness.
Right.
Concern slutty.
I always used protection. I was always very nice, thankfully, because I was always a gentleman, which is good. I mean, regardless of.
I'm very
of
happy to
Me Too
hear that.
movement. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, in retrospect, after my slut phase, now the Me Too movement is huge. I'm like, I think back, I was like, well, was I ever an asshole? Like, I don't think no, I was always really nice. So I'm like, thank
That's
God.
good. Yeah. Were you ever concerned that this would? Yeah, it was primarily physical concern that you had, or was there also emotional, like, oh, maybe they're expecting something more than just one night, or
Usually,
or
we were on the same page. Like, we're just gonna hook up tonight.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd be visiting a city, and I was leaving the next day. So
Was it enjoyable?
yeah, I loved it. It was
You
great.
loved it.
I had like a sexual reawakening.
That happens a lot. You were, in a sense, married for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then it happens a lot when people get divorced. They go into this, like, renewed adolescence kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what you went through.
And towards the end of my relationship, with my ex-girlfriend, I just assumed like the sex wasn't good. I was like, I guess I'm just not good at this. And then I became single, and I was like, wait a minute, I am good at this.
Wow.
Depending on the person.
I went through the same kind of thing though. When I was single, all of a sudden I'm like, this guy's trying to have sex. I'm like, I can't have sex with him. And then he's like, why? I'm like, and then he's like, I wish people would be chill about sex. And I'm like, yeah, I should be chill about sex. Why aren't I chill about sex? I'm single. Why aren't I not having sex? It's just like all of a sudden it dawns on you, like, I'm not married. I'm not in a relationship.
So
I'm free.
the type of sex that you were having, I can imagine that when you're with your not wife, but like your ex-girlfriend, it must have been at times more emotionally engaged and integrated. You imagine like a soul connection or something like that.
Yeah, we would make love.
Yeah, you make love.
And we'd also bang.
Okay, so this is where, so when you were with these strangers after comedy shows, I mean, was it that was likely not as soulful? Or
No, not at all.
But there's still a place for that.
What do you mean? Still a place?
Casual sex. He wants to know if you're still okay with that.
Oh, yeah. Like I have a girlfriend now of 4 months. We make love sometimes, but sometimes we just fuck.
What's the difference?
The difference is the feeling inside. No, but for real.
The difference is a Sunday morning fuck, okay? Daily dick and special occasion cock isn't even hardly enough to say.
Okay. I'm gonna get that tattooed on my face.
Special occasion cock.
But on the random hookups, I would never make love. And they weren't making love to me either.
Did they come?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, according to them. Not every time.
According to them is a great qualifier.
I've heard that girls often lie about it.
And why? It's so irritating to hear that. I'm so upset with women who do that. You're teaching bad habits.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like training a dog in the wrong way.
I know, it's true. But I think a good amount of women came. I like to think that.
So are you? So now you say you're in this relationship.
Yeah.
Is it an exclusive relationship?
Yeah, exclusive, and I'm very happy about that. I got tired of the dating scene after 2 years. I felt like I made up for lost time.
You totally did.
And I wanted companionship for
Okay.
the past year and a half. I was like looking for a girlfriend, or I was open to
Is
it.
she in the same kind of lifestyle as you?
She's an actress.
So that would be yes.
So yes.
Did you feel lonelier after some of these one night stands?
Yeah, for sure.
After most or occasionally?
Just occasionally. I think towards the end, when I was done dating, or like when I was done fucking around, I was just like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. And a lot of times, my encounters with my dates would be like, we'll go get drinks. So it often would involve a hangover the next day, plus like maybe some guilt for being a whore. I wasn't that much of I make myself sound more of a whore than I was. I was very nice.
I mean, there's no judgment here. Like,
Okay.
You're barking up the wrong tree.
she's pushing me to have sex all the time.
Absolutely.
Do it.
You guys have
Do it
fun.
really?
Right now, I will fuck you right now.
I will not be here to watch. I will leave you guys alone. Well, let's get on to your parents then. Like, what did your mom and
Never had sex with them.
Well, what do they think of? I mean, you guys talked about sex?
No.
Where are you in the birth order?
I'm the youngest of 4, and I have 3 older sisters.
Oh wow! So how did you learn about sex?
Through friends. I grew up Irish Catholic, which is a pretty suppressed community. We weren't super religious, but my family didn't really show emotions.
Boston.
I grew up outside of Boston,
Okay.
so we didn't talk about feelings. And if there was a problem in the family, we would just ignore it. It's really healthy.
Yeah.
But I learned about sex through friends, just gossiping, and also my mom. I think I was in, I forget what grade, maybe 5th or 6th grade. She left a book on my desk in the bedroom,
That's so cute.
and it was just like how babies are born type of book.
Oh, and then that was your sex ed.
Yeah.
How
right.
babies are born, 101.
I found out my desk one day. I was like, "Ooh, there's illustrations of boobs. This is awesome."
That is hilarious.
And one day my mom was like, "Hey, did you see that book?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, you should read that."
That is so
So when
funny.
you lost your virginity, did you go and tell them?
No. But unfortunately, a lot of people knew because I did it right outside a party that my sister was at.
What?
Yeah, I lost my virginity in the woods.
To a wolf?
Yeah, might as well.
A wolf.
A wolf.
A wolf. I was
A
thinking
wolf.
multiple wolves. A
Nope.
wolf.
Never had a threesome or group sex.
Yeah, neither did I.
So
Still time.
I know.
how did you find yourself in the wilderness?
All right, so I was, I think, 17 years old in my hometown. It was like kind of a summer town, sailing town.
Uh-huh.
There was a summer girl visiting, and I was in a band at the time. She didn't know how dorky I was and how uncool I was. So she was just visiting.
She saw this cool band guy.
Yeah, it's like, a cool band, even though I played the saxophone, which isn't that cool.
No,
Saxophone's the
weird.
best.
That women are so turned on by sax players.
Maybe women, but teenage girls, they want the drummers and guitarists. Right?
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
Not the band geek. Trust me.
So we're outside at this party. She just starts making out with me, and her breath tastes like menthol cigarettes, which is what she smoked. But I was like, screw it, I never get girls.
Wait, you did not like the menthol taste?
No, I thought it was gross.
I used to smoke menthol cigarettes. Back in the
Gross, man.
Back in
It's
the
pretty
day.
gross too, I guess.
It's all right. And then, I'm getting too graphic. I don't know, like, I talked about this on a TV show. We're out in the yard. She starts sucking my dick. And I'm like, whoa, I guess pornos are real. And she even said, as she unzipped my file, she was like, I want this.
Oh,
Was
wow.
she your age?
Yeah. Just very sexually advanced and damaged, maybe? I don't know.
Wait, let's not judge her because she was having a little fun in the
Right.
woods, okay?
It's true. And then one of my friends saw it happening, and I was like, oh, fuck, all right, we need to go away. So we went across the street into the woods. We banged for a little bit, and I came back to the party. Everyone's like, Ryan, where have you been? And like, my sister's there too. I'm like, nowhere! I wasn't anywhere! Oh, God, it was humiliating. I felt so ashamed too. I went home and took a guilt shower, just like Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura.
Oh my God, I didn't know that was a thing. I did that once or 3 times in a row. I showered because it was, it's, what is that? You want to wipe it off of you?
Right, yeah, I think
But
so.
I'm guessing that it was not all that pleasurable for her in the sense that she did not
I don't think she did.
come.
Where's the guilt coming from or the shame coming from?
I wanted to be in love when I lost my virginity.
Is this a religious thing or just like parents?
I think it was partly
social.
Partly religious, mostly social. And I was uncomfortable with the whole thing. Like, I'm pretty sure my sister knew it was happening at the time. It was like almost like public sex.
Yeah.
But not really.
And now how do you feel looking back if you were in the same position?
I think it's a funny story. No, it's an interesting story. Sometimes people have boring stories like, I was in love with my boyfriend and we had sex.
Mhm.
It's like, it's not a good story.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Wrong.
Everybody needs a good virginity story.
Yeah. But at the time I was humiliated and we didn't hook up again because I was too ashamed. I got a lot of guilt in me. Something I'm working on.
Yeah. Let that go. Guilt's
Right.
a waste of an emotion. Jeez.
For real. But yeah, since then I now think it's like a funny story.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
How has do you think that experience has affected the rest of your sex life, or is that kind of just like a one-off?
It was pretty much a one-off.
Okay.
The rest of the people that I had sex with before my long-term girlfriend, I was already friends with. Like friends of a friend. It's like visiting my friends at college.
Friends with benefits.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kim, we never talk about your virginity story.
We talk about it almost every
No,
episode.
I'm saying, do you feel like that influenced your feelings about sex?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that long-winded explanation.
And I don't think it has had any lasting impact on me. It wasn't very emotional in any major way or significant.
I think maybe, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this, but I think women might attribute more to their losing their virginity than men.
I think you might.
Or maybe it's just me, because I had a good story. I mean, I had a good experience. I mean, the story wasn't that great, but the experience itself was very pleasurable. So I think I wanted to repeat a pleasurable experience, as opposed to like if I had a bad experience,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever want to have sex again. So I'm glad I had a pleasurable one.
It's an interesting question if women are more. Yeah, that is interesting.
What do you
I'd
think?
like to
Ryan?
ask that.
Here's one thing that affected me. I didn't have an orgasm when I lost my virginity because I started freaking out about what I was doing.
Were
So
you wearing
for-
a condom?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Nope. So that was cool.
Oh God, that could have been disastrous at 17
Yeah, dude.
with Catholic people,
Yeah.
especially
Imagine
if they don't believe in abortion. Many of them.
Right? Imagine if I got her pregnant. Oh my god.
Can you
Oh
imagine
my
how your
God.
life would be different now?
Holy shit.
You'd be with your little baby in the Vine videos.
Yeah.
Might help, actually.
A little baby in the Vine videos.
But for like a few years after that, I still hadn't had an orgasm from another person, from another girl. So like I was like, I've had sex, but I still haven't jizzed from someone making me jizz.
It's not exactly the same problem we're dealing with in this room.
No. If anything, it's there's always ejaculation. It's just like way sooner than I wanted to.
That happens.
Yeah.
When I was with my long-term girlfriend towards the end, I was premature ejaculating like every time.
Were you watching a lot of porn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why was that? Why do you think that was happening at the end?
I think maybe we both didn't care that much. I'm not sure.
So
So
is
was
it a mental thing for you to last longer then?
I guess so. I'm not sure. Once I became single and I started being a whore, then I would last a lot longer. I'm like, oh, I'm good at this, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Oh, so that was
You
that the
know,
difference?
there's a little bravado there.
Yeah, I guess so. And I was having different styles of sex, like more aggressive. My ex-girlfriend, not aggressive at all,
Yeah.
not devious at all. So when I became single, I realized how popular being choked was.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Girls like to be choked these days.
I would not go with the blanket girls like to be choked these days. I think there
I know,
are
I
some girls that do, but I'm going on the record as the majority do not. Thank you, porn.
This is
Yeah.
this is a lot. This is something I found.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Okay, that's a thing. But
It's a thing for some.
You always gotta ask if it's okay.
Yeah. Or I mean, yeah. You also, I mean, if you want to do it.
Yeah.
I think women are more open to the whole dominance thing.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think the choking aspect is necessary.
No, it's not necessary.
Are you saying this for our listeners? Like, hey, don't just assume that this girl is going to want to get choked.
I would definitely want my listeners to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
for sure.
that most women are not going
Great.
to. But I think it comes down to porn has taught these men that that's what women want. And I don't believe that that is necessarily the case.
Well-
Although, I mean, you said you asked them if they would like to be
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, you can't just start choking a girl.
I've often heard the opposite, where the girl is actually asking to be choked, and then the guy's like, "Oh, all right," but then,
Wait,
all right.
have you choked a girl?
No, but I've had some people have asked to be more
Yeah,
violent.
I've had girls guide my hands to their neck, like choke me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, this is
I mean,
good.
what if it like happens that you make a little error in judgment and you really do choke her to death? I mean, that could be a bad situation for you.
Yeah, it's never like when it's happened with me too, or when I've choked a girl, it's never like actual choking. I'm not like strangling her. It's just a little pressure on the
A
neck.
little pressure.
It's
on that.
playful.
All right,
Yeah,
playful.
Yeah, never like actual choking.
Yeah, I'm so fascinated that when at the end of the relationship is when the premature ejaculation started.
Yeah, I know.
I have
And then-
an explanation.
Go for it.
I'm just hypothetically speaking that you're watching a lot more porn than in porn. It's you over desensitized, so you
Mhm.
find more and more weird porn. Not weird, but aberrant porn than the typical man-woman sex.
Yep.
And then you come really quickly because it's so new. And then the more you do it, the more you come quickly, and then you're actually training your brain to come very quickly when you're with someone.
Yeah,
That's
think
my
Do you agree
theory.
with this?
I agree that my brain was it tricked my brain into thinking like, it's okay, just jizz.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's the porn made me do that. I'm not sure what was happening. It wasn't every single time, but it was like, damn, I'm jizzing pretty quickly.
And maybe also you didn't care. I mean, like you guys were down the house and you just wanted to come, and so you thought, well, I'll get it over quickly and then I can go to bed.
I think we were both just not interested.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, let's do this.
I think this is the answer. I don't think it has anything to do with porn.
Well,
As
I'm
evidenced
saying
by me,
it could be a two. a dual thing going on. There could be multiple reasons.
I think porn is, if anything, I've heard more in conjunction with ED, erectile dysfunction, where it takes longer for the person to get hard.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's very rare that I hear that it leads to premature ejaculation. For example, in my situation, I'm not saying I'm prematurely ejaculating every time, but if that's my tendency, and I rarely watch porn, it does not go hand. They don't go hand in hand, in my opinion. But anyway, what I would imagine is if you knew in situations that you can really kind of, if you don't have a lot of psychological barriers against what you're doing at the time, I think you can really let yourself go into the moment, and it'll take longer for the whole. You're there for the experience, as opposed to there's no personal baggage that you're bringing with it to the
I
sex.
agree. Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty
I like
intense. Let's just let that sit for a second.
Because
No, really, that does make a lot of sense, Kim.
Thank you.
Because when I'd be on the road and having sex, or like knowing I'm going to have sex with a girl, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, all right, we're gonna fuck." And
Right.
like I wanted to do well.
Mm-hmm.
So when with my ex-girlfriend, I was like, "All right, yeah, we're gonna have sex."
Yeah.
I just want to come. I want to get. I got no laundry to do. I got a lot of things going on. I'll just come and get it over with. And she's probably thinking, "Oh, I got to do the dishes. I got this and this
Yeah.
and this, and let's just get it done. We both want to come and go to sleep."
Yeah, it's true. And my ex would still have an orgasm,
Yeah.
and then once we were done, I was like, "All right, great, thank you." Now I'll go.
Yeah.
You guys are like passing strangers.
Yeah.
So how soon after the end of the fuck escapades
Mhm.
to this new girlfriend? Like what was that timeline like?
Let's say 2 years after being a whore, I decided to not be a whore anymore.
Was there a period where you weren't gonna do it, where you weren't doing anything there?
I was just having sex a lot less. And
Okay.
like trying, I wasn't trying nearly as much.
Yeah.
Were you doing the no fap thing?
What's that?
You don't know what the no fap?
No fat?
No
Basically,
masturbation.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, challenge that's going on the internet.
Really?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Did your career change as well during that time?
Yeah, when it got more successful, or it got better after my long-term breakup. I don't think it had anything to do with that. It was just the way that Vine was headed. It was getting more and more popular. And then, well, Vine's gone now, so is my career.
But it's going to restart after this. You know how cool it is, by the way, that we've just met you. And we had this intense talk just now about all this, like, deeply intense sexual
Yeah, no, it's weird.
relationship.
I love it. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean,
It
we
is.
just met you.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
And you're talking to a mom and her son about jizzing.
I guess it actually, after having these conversations on a weekly basis, it becomes harder for me to have
No, yeah,
Normal bullshit
superficial.
conversations.
Yeah, me too.
in like a bar. Literally, yeah. Like a couple months ago, I was talking to a girl at a bar, and I started talking about sex with her, and she's like, "Whoa, are we gonna go there right now?" I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? If we can't go there now, I mean, we gotta be able to go there. Otherwise we're just beating around the bush over here.
Well,
Sorry, sweet.
were you telling her how you talk about
Yeah,
ejaculating with your mom?
I didn't mention that.
That's
at
such
that
a good
point.
point. No, but it happens with me and my friends who are very, like, a lot of them are like, we don't ever even talk about sex, let alone, a lot of them aren't even having sex.
Uh-huh.
So for me, it's just like, hey, I got a brand new vibrator I want to show you. They're like, what the fuck? Where did that come from?
That's funny.
So Vine goes away. You start focusing more on stand up.
Yep.
And then,
Or the same.
Or did you do
Or
YouTube
you're still-
videos?
I started staying up 3 months before Vine came out. And that was always my long-term plan. I was never planning on being a Viner or like a social media person. And what did you say?
Oh,
YouTube.
YouTube. I did vlogs on YouTube for about 4 months. I hated doing it. I just don't like it. And YouTube is such a huge commitment that I'm just
Yeah.
I don't have the time for it.
yeah. You were saying that you're trying to move away now from being a social media influencer.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of making videos all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's
so
tough schedule.
yeah, it's a tough schedule. And the community, like I don't do YouTube. I'm gonna start posting my podcasts on YouTube, but I don't do YouTube, which is a more respected community than Instagram. But I haven't, I guess, considered an Instagrammer right now, and it's just not that cool. Like I don't really like the community. I think most
You think
popular people
Logan
aren't that
Paul
funny.
Yeah,
is not that funny?
I don't think it's not that
Just
funny.
kidding.
your videos are much funnier than most influencers' videos I
Oh,
watch.
thanks. Yeah, a lot of the popular videos, people just do a formula. They know it's popular, like show a girl's ass,
Right.
have it all be about like when your girl goes through your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, really, and then the girls do the same stupid thing.
Yeah.
And it's so popular with the teenagers and the preteens.
I know.
My little niece was like 12 years old, and she was like, "Oh my God, I love Logan Paul and all that." And I'm like, "What the hell?"
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it seems less based on like actual comedic meritocracy
Totally.
and more based on like it's more structured on popularity. So like
Yeah.
if these little kids are seeing, oh, their friends are watching this person, it doesn't really mean that their friends are choosing the best comedian out there. They're just seeing who everyone is watching and going towards that
Yeah,
situation.
it's not the most talent. Yeah.
And in a lot of these comedy videos, everyone looks awesome. They look really cool,
Yeah.
and hot and awesome.
They're
I
models.
don't have that in me. Be all swaggy. And like,
Yeah.
It's not. I think it's less funny. So I like to look like an idiot or like crazy,
Yeah.
clowny.
Yes.
I wear wigs and do weird characters.
Yeah.
And you two should definitely get together and do some clowning.
Yeah, you do. It's great.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And like teenage girls aren't gonna go like, oh my god,
Right.
this guy's so hot.
Yeah.
Look at him in his wig and deformed face. I have one character. I always talk like this and I look like this.
You don't think that would be a big seller amongst those teen girls?
So you went through the 2 years, a little less, and then you found this girl, the current girl.
Well, I had a girlfriend after my slut phase. Dated her for 4 months, but I just didn't really like her that much. It wasn't a very great relationship, so we broke up. Then I was single again for like a year, trying. I wanted companionship, but it just wasn't working out. And then I met my current girlfriend, current, I say because I'm dumping her after this episode. Now I met my girlfriend Jenny, and yeah, it's great. One big difference between her and other girls I've dated is that she has a great family. Like I've noticed.
That is a super important, to me, super important thing to have as a role model.
That's what I've noticed.
Do you know, it's interesting when we say these types of things, I'm always thinking about the people that have shit families. They don't choose to have these shit families. You know, like, they're just born into them.
So then they can go get some counseling if they're in a relationship, which I think is good for all relationships, actually. But the point is that I always do look to the family because I think that it's obvious that you're gonna, if you have a very solid marriage to have as your role model, you're gonna end up having at least some sort of guidelines as to how to act in a relationship. Otherwise, you don't have it. Especially if you have one that's an alcoholic who's not there. And how do you know what to do then? How do you know what it's supposed to look like?
I think that you could. So I think maybe it's easier for people who grew up with like very supportive, healthy families to become more normal, stable people. But I think that there is some sort of you could go through like a lot of emotional work and
Sure.
you know,
but it just takes a little more work in a therapist's office.
I don't know if it requires therapy.
Or a little more self-help books, whatever you need to do.
Whatever. Because some of my friends, one in particular, she's incredible, and her family's not like, you know, it's not like the ideal family, and I know that her self-work really makes her like such a cool.
Better, yeah.
It almost adds like a strength there.
Well, you might want what you didn't have either.
Right, maybe.
My girlfriend of 10 years, she's a great person, but her mom, and I guess her own work with herself, made her like a wonderful person. Her mom's super supportive and stuff. So that's an example of a girl with a terrible dad who's totally sane. More sane than I am. But other girls I've dated, I was attracted to girls with bad dads, I think. You know, I have mom issues. So I grew up like trying to make my mom happy. She's bipolar, so I try to make her laugh a lot. So I think I have this weird thing where I want to help women, as condescending as that sounds.
No, you have a nurture inside because you know what it's like to have a mom that was like that. I totally hear that.
Okay, cool. So I'm not crazy?
Not at all. No, I mean, I think that's what we're saying. Like sometimes you want what you don't have, and sometimes you don't. I think that I've told this on the podcast before that for a while after my husband passed away, I found all these several men that I was with who had lost a parent. And you too, Kim, said the same thing, that you lost through death or divorce.
Yeah.
Okay. So like common ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something you can relate to.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was attracted to girls with daddy issues, as they say, daddy issues.
Well, now you got that beard going, and you definitely look like a daddy.
I'm daddy as fuck. But then I realized a trend, like these relationships aren't working out.
Mm-hmm.
And also one girlfriend, I raised my voice at her one night. She's being super jealous. It was a whole thing.
It's okay to raise your voice.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot worse.
we were arguing, and I raised my voice a little bit. The next day, she was like, "It might sound weird, but I got super turned on when you were mad at me."
Oh wow.
So I was like, "Is that good?"
Yeah, that's interesting.
She wants a little drama, baby.
Yeah, I don't want drama.
This is a whole nother podcast episode that I would love to fucking hear about.
Wow. Yeah.
And that girl had, I think, an unhealthy relationship with sex. She liked it extremely aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
like most aggressive I've ever done, and it got like literally tiring for me. She came over and was like, "Oh God, we have to fuck tonight. Oh my God."
Marathon, swinging from the chandeliers. We gotta do some serious calisthenics.
I just worked out yesterday. I can't do it again today.
Yeah, this is a good workout, baby.
Exhausting. And then my girlfriend now, Jenny, who we're in love, which I'm happy to report.
Wow.
Yay, Jenny.
4 months, already in love.
It was fast.
Immediate? Love
No.
at first sight?
No. We actually met at a Aaron Carter concert 3 years prior. One of her friends, I was there kind of as a joke, and so was she.
I was gonna go, isn't that like a teeny that thing?
Yeah. Oh, one of her friends recognized me from Vine, so we have a photo together.
Oh,
Me
crazy.
with my girlfriend now from 3 years ago.
That's wild.
But yeah, she's great. She's away with her family right now. Her dad is a good guy.
This is great.
They're still married. Her and her mom. She has a great relationship with her siblings. I'm like, whoa.
This is a keeper.
Wait, your dad's in your life?
What is that like?
I was trying to make jokes on stage about like how I would like to when I meet a new girl. I'm just like, "Hey, I'm Ryan." It's like, "Is your father in your life?"
I think it's actually a good idea, and also that's a zodiac sign. What's yours, by the way?
Pisces.
Same.
No way. No wonder you guys are getting along so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess what? So is my girlfriend.
Oh
Pisces.
my God.
Is that gonna work out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Pisces works out great.
Let's have a threesome, bro.
Hey, so speaking of threesomes, how did you end up with the guy you're doing a podcast with?
I met him through Vine. His name's Brandon Calvillo. Very funny young man. He was a popular Viner, so we started making Vine videos. We developed a friendship. And then one day I just asked him if he wanted to do a podcast. We recorded one episode like 2 years ago. And he was like, "Dude, it's too much. It's too personal. Don't post it." That's my impression of him. I was like, fuck, all right. And then I was planning on doing a podcast alone. But then I was like, wait, we'd have more success if we teamed up. So a year later, I was like, let's do a fucking podcast. It's like, all right, fuck it. Now he doesn't care what he puts up.
How do people find your podcast?
It's on iTunes, Spotify, and everything. Just type in "I'm sorry, Dad." Are we almost done?
Yeah, we are.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Flew by.
It's flowing.
Time flies with sex talk with my mom.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to plug to our audience?
When's this episode going up?
Should go up in the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Okay. I do a monthly show at the Hollywood Improv, which you should do sometime.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's every first Wednesday of the month. But yeah, if you want to hear me all around the world, check out "I'm Sorry, Dad" podcast.
Cool.
Things get weird there. For instance, my co-host Brandon cried for an hour once.
Oh my God.
He was heartbroken / in love.
Holy
So he
shit.
cried. So if you guys like
Well,
cringe,
that's happened on our podcast as well.
Yeah.
Kim cried on a few breakups.
There was a breakup episode as well.
yeah, we've had one too. There's one episode I didn't release because I was heartbroken over a girl. It's just so pathetic.
It is really pathetic.
It's
Like,
not pathetic.
it is.
You know,
There's
you're
something-
emotional guys, you're Pisces, you're old
Yeah.
souls.
It was-
And now I see, if you had told me you're Pisces at the beginning of this conversation, that would be a whole different ballgame.
Anyway, we'll talk about it when you guys come on my podcast.
Oh, we
Awesome.
can't wait. We're going to be on "I'm Sorry, Dad."
Yeah, so
soon.
check it out.
Yes.
So, have you ever walked in on a parent having sex or vice versa?
I heard my parents having sex one night, and I heard my mom say, "You only want to snuggle if you want to fuck," to my dad. So it's like, I don't want to hear that.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Oh my God.
I was like, my parents talk like that. I have never been walked in on having sex. Oh, aside from losing my virginity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already told that story.
The whole neighborhood is there.
Yeah.
And the wolves.
My friend Julie saw me getting my dick sucked.
Oh.
That was weird.
Well, Riley, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is
Welcome.
great.
Fun. How long is this?
48 minutes.
48?
Yeah.
Wow. Really does fly by when you're talking sex.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Awesome.
Cool dudes.
You want to see what I got over here?
Let's see what's going on over here. Can your mom fly me out and take me on a date by Pretty Lou? You want to respond to that one?
Sure. Send banking information.
Bryson says, hey, Karen and Cam. Raven says, I've watched your stream before because I just love cleavage, but there is none here. Goodbye.
Wow.
Thank you,
rude.
Raven. On that
Sorry.
note, thanks for tuning in.